Hey guys, what is up? Shadolance back for another review. Today I'm going to be doing the UMP review for the second time. Let's hop right into the stats this time. We're going to have a damage of 37, a portability of 75, a rate of fire of 79, an accuracy of 67, and a recoil of 63. So looking at the damage, this is a very, very high damage for an SMG. You see this is one of the older world SMGs like the P90, the UMP 45, and the PP19. It's that old combat arms feel. This is like prior to 2009. You see these weapons used pretty much all the time, even though we have a lot of these newer world SMGs that have like the crazy high fire rates of 90. This only has that rate of fire of 79. However, keep that in mind. High damage and still a very high fire rate. If you look at guns like the M4A1 SOT mod or the M416 CQB camo, which has gone on perm a couple of times now, you're going to see a high damage, usually something like 40-something, that's an assault rifle, but the rate of fire is only getting up towards 77, 76 if customized. So a rate of fire of 79, which is still 3 to 4 points faster, on top of the damage of 37, that is a very, very quick killer. That makes this gun very, very efficient, and is a reason it's still used in competitive gameplay quite a bit today. The recoil is a bit hefty. You'll see that if you try to spray it in scope. Doesn't mean the spread jumps up that high, that fast, though. The spread is still relatively controllable. It's not that bad. It's accurate enough to be able to tap pretty much mid-range, close range. You can aim your headshots pretty well. You got an ammo capacity 35 of 105, so that means you're going to have quite a bit of ammo. You're going to have that extra 5 shot per magazine, which means you're going to have a total of 20 shots extra because you have 4 magazines total, 5 times, 4, 20, you can do your math. But, yeah, it's also a very, very cheap gun. For one day, you're looking at less than 900 GP. 7 days, you're looking at about 4,200, so it's not that expensive, and it's great for competitive gameplay. For an SMG, it has pretty low damage drop-off, although it's not as low as the P90, but it is better than the PP19. However, if you keep in mind, the PP19 also has that 65 magazine size, so you're able to get the extra shots to get the higher accolade. So if you're looking for a higher accolade gun that still has quite a bit of damage, the PP19 might be the way to go. But because this gun has the extra 5 shots, it's more likely to be a higher accolade gun than some other, especially given the high damage. And then there's also the other variants like the UMP 45, and I will be comparing this to the UMP SE because it is the other GP variant. Quickly whip up the stats for that, and here we go. So the UMP SE has the integrated eye-tech scope similar to the UMP 45, has a damage of 37, portability 75, rate of fire 79, accuracy of 67, and recoil of 62. So the only difference we're seeing is that there's the eye-tech scope and a slight reskin. There's no actual statistical change. Although from my experience playing with the gun, I feel like it has even slightly less damage drop-off, but that's just how I feel. It seems to be a better killer at a slight range. Not that you should really be using these SMGs at any kind of range, but to be honest, these SMGs are better for a range than, I say, the from my SAF or the Magpul. Those guns, although they have the very fast fire rate and still a decent damage, the damage drop-off is on purpose. Nexon put it on purpose that it has a very low damage drop-off. A very high damage drop-off, so you won't be doing a crazy amount of damage at a high range with that kind of a fire rate. That way you'd be able to do a lot more damage, and that's actually one of the ways they nerf guns. One of the ways Nexon can nerf a gun is they'll keep the stats the same, but they'll mess around with the background stats. They'll make the spread recovery different. They'll make the fire rate or the recoil pattern different, and they'll make the just the damage drop-off different. That was one of the big things with the TPG series back in the day. When they first released the TPG, the 1 Pro, it was an absolutely fantastic weapon. It could one-shot consistently across Kill Creek, and there was even rumor that it could kill a tanker vest in one shot, and I never really got a chance to test that out because I bought the gun rather late. But it's just that kind of small stuff there that really makes the difference. And with the UMP, it just feels like that's one other thing that they would be doing with the UMP. They would be nerfing the damage after some time, so maybe that's just me thinking about the UMP SE a little bit differently. As far as attachments, you can put on a suppressor, a scope, and a magazine to this weapon. If I had to make a full suggestion, I would say an S1 suppressor with an eye-tech scope and an extended magazine 1 would be the best way to go, because then you're getting that 45 shots per mag, which normally an SMG you would have to have the 45 for an extended magazine 2. But with an extended magazine 1, you're looking at still 45 shots. If you want to go for the full 50, the reload's relatively quick, so it's not going to hurt you too much. But if you want to go for the higher accolades with the high damage this gun has and the lower damage drop-off than the PP19, but still have that high ammo capacity, then maybe an extended magazine 2 might be the way to go. The S1 suppressor greatly reduces the recoil, although it does kind of screw with the pattern a little bit, so spraying at longer ranges or even medium ranges might actually be more difficult to do by having an iTech scope and the S1 suppressor than not having it. Also keep in mind it helps with the sound too, so going in for bass rate might be a little bit more comfortable, not get so much attention, let's just put it that way. Although that's kind of implied. I wouldn't suggest an S3 suppressor for this because it's not going to matter. If you're close enough range to kill someone with an SMG, it's kind of pointless to have an S3 suppressor anyway. But, yeah, as far as the iTech scope, you could still tap with it, but actually the ACOG scope, it's fine for tapping with this weapon. It's accurate enough that it can do that and still be useful. So you're going to be able to get your headshots in, and you're still going to be able to one-click those guys at medium ranges. I wouldn't say you should be using an SMG at long range. But that's about all the time I have for a review today, guys. Thank you for watching this review. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Shadolance out.